People, deluded, I'm back again. And yeah, man, similar to Benzema to Manchester United rumours, the Manolas to Arsenal rumours are back. For those who don't know, Greek international, 27, 28 years of age, plays for Roma. I can't imagine you don't, but for context, ironically, United have been linked with him, but it feels like one of them typical signings. I'm sure United fans, there's certain players that are forever linked with your club. Spurs, City, Chelsea, there's definitely players as well. Can't believe the Pulisic one actually happened. That one's been going for a while. Arsenal were always there. How many years were we linked with Di Maria as well, for example? So yeah, Manolas, allegedly, Roma, obviously, they're not having the best of seasons, a bit of a so-so one. There's a risk that they might not qualify for the Champions League. If they don't, allegedly, Manolas is someone that might have to make way for whatever reason. I don't know, not a Roma fan. Not really clued up like that with Roma matters. I watch Italian league, of course, but how much times can I specifically watch Roma? So Roma fans, you know your thing better than me. Why he would want to leave, again, I don't know. But dealing with the specifics, allegedly there's a £31 release clause there. Arsenal should explore that. Now, admittedly, I'm not as big of a fan of Manolas as I was if he was to ask me probably 2 years ago. I like him. I do think he's got mistake in him, not a Mustafi mistake, in that he's got the natural mistake in. For me, I think he gets caught flat-footed a lot. For me, he is very aggressive and very front-footed, but at times I think he switches off a lot and isn't the most proactive. I think he's good in the air. I think what I like about him, and the main thing is obviously he can defend. He's a warrior, similar to what we got with Socrates, his fellow countryman. He puts his body on the line, man. He's got elite mentality. He's not on this, pardon my language, this pussy old thing. Like, would help him. 27 years of age. Best year was in his best years, apparently. A footballer should be. He's 27. In 3 years, he'll be 30 years of age. Basic maths for those who didn't know. So we'll get good 3 years out of him. He'd still be playing to a decent level. Look, Socrates is 31 and he's still decent. So there's around 3, 4, maybe 5 years left. I think he's got the ability and the mentality to thrive at Arsenal. By default, he's better than some of these options. I'm not going to name drop some of these options. Next year, Holding's first choice with me. Mavropanos would play a bit more. If not, he needs to go out on loan. But between having Rob Holding, Mavropanos, Socrates, obviously Manolas and Koscielny chipping in here and there, that's a good... I believe you need 5 centre-halves. That's some good options there, and really and truly. And if Chambers is either sold or he's used sporadically, whether he fills in at right back, fills in at centre-half, or where he's been playing for Fulham in midfield, it gives us depth. Obviously, you can't not speak about Bielik as well. He's 20, 21 years of age, and a decision will have to be made on his future in the summer. But fantastic options. I mean, could you imagine 3 at the back? Mavropanos, Manolas and Socrates, 3 Greek men, countrymen, badding it up for us. It would be good for him, man. I think he'd enjoy London. He'd obviously have teammates to thrive with. I think ultimately he would play first team football. He'd be a better signing than some of the options we have. £31 million as well. I would like to go for. I think currently Manolas is probably a better centre half than Diallo, but I've been on the Diallo one since the Michelin links, and I'm staying with that. Upamecano would be a big signing. I'd consider Mangala Sarr. Obviously, there's Canute as well, the big one that I'd want. But these sort of players I'm listing are going to come with a hefty price tag, which would probably be 20 or so more than this. So if we're really penny pinching, his release clause is something we could explore. But does that really make sense? Because I don't think Arsenal are going to pay his £31 million release clause in full, sort of thing, based on the fact that we was trying to go through Europe getting long signings in January, and before that we didn't have a biggest budget. Emery said at the start of January he wants a centre-half, or we ain't got no money, but he's looking at a centre-half, if you remember, around the Cahill comments. So this is an area they're clearly scouting or looking for or drawing up targets. I mean, on the basis that Emery was back watching La Liga a couple of days ago in the international break, and he saw Dick Aram, I can never say his name properly, Getafe centre-half, we're actively looking. So this is someone we can look at. He's decent on the ball, so that fits in with Emery's way of playing. He's the sort of centre-half I like, in that he's not a prima donna. He's on this sort of throwing his weight around, being a prick sort of thing, pardon my language. So I think he'd be a good signing. 27 as well, so he's of prime ages. coming into the squad. Only issues for me is he switches off at times a bit too much, and he gets caught flat-footed a bit too much, and his positioning at times. But I like him, man. I really like him a lot, man. And it should be something we consider, to be honest with you. A second player I was going to talk about, I was actually going to do it in another vid, but should we go for Rodrigo? Admittedly, this is another player, ironically, forever linked with Arsenal, forever. And I don't know, man. Something just tells me I would like Julian Brandt for 24 million. I mean, 24 million plus Canute or Manolas for the 30 odd. That would be a decent summer. It wouldn't be the best, but we could say, all right, cool. We can move forward with that sort of thing. Because I do think we have to be realistic in the summer. Me, myself, people, I'm sitting here. I want a winger. I want a centre mid, possibly even 2 centre mids. I want a centre half. With the money that if we get champs, then it changes a lot. But with this sort of money that we've had for the last 2 windows, is it feasible for me to think that these positions are going to come in of suitable standard? Because we can penny pinch and be creative like Arsenal have been showing. But yeah, I believe 24 million for Brandt, activate that release clause, give him all the money in full. But Rodrigo is someone I'll be looking at, contracted until 2022, 28 years of age. Obviously rebuilt himself in Valencia, and what other club was he at before Valencia? He was somewhere before Valencia, forgive me if I'm wrong. Either way, he's come a long way from his Bolton days, similar to Marcos Alonso. 28 years of age, playing for Valencia. He can play up front or play on the flanks. I think he would complement the side well. He can play on the flanks. I think he's only got 5 goals, 5 assists this season, but that's not the worst. And I think he's a decent player. I think possibly what could tempt him here is obviously Unai Emery. That as well, the return of coming back to the top in terms of Arsenal being competitive again. And for me, the one thing I would sell him the most is the fact that, yeah, you've rebuilt yourself in La Liga, you've been called up by Spain, but don't you feel like a Premier League flop sort of thing? Do you want to come back and right them wrong sort of thing? Do you see what I'm saying? I think he could be used on the flanks. I think it could be a decent option. Admittedly, he's linked with Barca again and been linked with Madrid previously, especially when Lutegui, I can't say his name, when he was at the helm. So is it feasible, people? I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. He's only got 31 goals in La Liga, to be fair with you. 48 goals and 27 assists, I believe, for Valencia. I should really not write in shorthand because now I don't understand what the hell I've written there in terms of his statistics. But he hasn't got the most goals sort of thing and stuff like that. But surely that's an option to consider. Admittedly, as I'm making this vid, all that's going through my head is Brandt, 24 million. So this is something that's probably going to cost more than that. And possibly, I wouldn't say it's not worth it, but it's not, the one's there, you're not feeling the conviction. But I do think it's someone we should look at, to be fair with you, man. But on that note, I'm going to keep it pushing, people. Deluded, comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out, though.